Welcome to Occult 101. This is Frater BF. This episode is going to cover the principle of polarity. A pattern of sorts is developing here where we've gone from the transcendent world of mind down into the fabric of our physical reality. This is an area where a lot of people are going to encounter difficulties because this is the arena of the material world and is where most people are centered. Despite being so focused on the empirical world, or perhaps because of it, they will have a hard time with the more abstract aspects of metaphysical thought. So we started at the source, the universal mind where all things are born into existence. Then we saw how the patterns emanating from this source create a scheme of corresponding ratios. These ratios are expressed as patterns of vibration. Now we come to the mechanisms by which we define and classify our perceptual world. The physical world is a construct created by polarity. Two oppositional poles create the middle ground. The black and the white set the parameters for all of the shades of gray in between, and these shades of gray are what we call the empirical world. You can often find clues in the words we use to dig up deeper meanings. In this case, empirical being taken from the Greek word empirikos, which I've probably butchered the pronunciation of, but it means experienced. That which is experienced is the material world. All things are created within this scheme of polarity. It shapes everything from our bodies to the way we think. There is no up without down, no forward without backward, the old in out, left, right. All these parameters define the spaces between. Not only the physical space, but also the mental space. Good, bad, happy, sad, smart and dumb, interested or bored. Hopefully, I'm not boring you. As most people know, our planet has this polarized form by way of its magnetic poles. Our bodies are not exempt from this schematic. Our energetic systems function in this same fashion. In magical procedure, the positive pole is typically envisioned as white, while the negative pole is black. This idea is reiterated in the Tree of Life with the Pillar of Mercy being white and the Pillar of Severity being black to denote the polarization of energies. You could even call a pillar a pole, if you were so inclined. Probably to the dismay of architects and occultists everywhere. Pretty much everyone on Earth has seen the symbol called yin-yang. This symbol encapsulates the idea of polarity as a mechanism by which the cycles of the physical world endlessly rotate. The word yin indicates a passive energy, while yang is the active energy. This polarity is reinforced with the black and white color scheme. The movement of the two sides indicates the patterns of creation cycling continually from one side to another. The dots in the center of each side, colored with its opposite, shows that this is a system that works as one whole scheme. In each of the extremes lies the root of the other side. They are expressions of the same force to degrees that run in opposite directions along a common axis. Polar opposites are not oppositional in the sense that they are contradictory, but rather complementary. They're two sides of the same coin. Sometimes the yin-yang is colored as green and red. Green and red are complementary colors. They accentuate each other. In visual arts, complementary colors exist opposite each other on a color wheel, and these colors will often be used in conjunction because the effect they have on each other is to accentuate the opposing tone by way of contrast. Likewise, the astrological wheel is divided in a similar fashion, with signs sitting oppositionally on the wheel, working as two pieces of one puzzle. Like the Jedi and Sith from Star Wars, they balance the Force. People have a tendency to see poles as forces battling each other. They think in a conflicting manner and so engage in conflict. Someone stuck in the throes of walking against the current, like this, is said to be under the influence of polarity consciousness. They're pushed this way and that way by all the things they see as being opposite of themselves. The political divide, especially in the United States, is a perfect example of polarity consciousness. It should serve as a lesson that being under the sway of ideologies or hierarchies or whatever it may be come with consequences. The group mind takes precedence over the individual. It has its own rewards and punishment systems that come into play when the individual moves in unison or strays from the herd. People stuck in this kind of polarity consciousness will see the other side as always being wrong, while their side is always right. The right and the left, the Democrats and Republicans, represent 2 points along a political axis sitting at either end and pointing fingers at each other. The whole time they are doing this and trying to thwart their imagined foes, nothing gets accomplished because they are working in conflict. Polar opposites define each other and are two halves of one whole. They create a balance. They say opposites attract, and that's because they balance each other out. The universe maintains a constant state of balance. The system maintains itself. The law of conservation of energy states that energy is neither created nor destroyed, it just transforms into another state. Einstein's famous equation, E equals mc squared, is essentially telling you that energy and matter are equivalent in that they are the same thing manifested into different states. There is an echo of the principle of vibration, and it trickles down here to show that the universe is an organized system which continually transforms itself, and it does so within the parameters defined by the principle of polarity. Until next time, agape.